had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing okay. Hello, Vet Girl. Hello, Board Game. Ada Kurt. It's a pleasure. Sally, good to see you too. So I want to thank PRN talking to 5.3 New Orleans. No, it's Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. For allowing me to give you an hour on Sunday and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. on this platform. Don't forget, right after my show tonight, you got C.L. Thomas's The Daily Podcast with watching my show. Going over to hers. Hers starts at 9:15. And tonight she has my friend on as a guest, Mr. Mark Eddy. And they're going to talk about the ancient mysteries of the Ohio Valley. Lost worlds, mounds, and cryptids. And I've had Mark on my show before, and it's going to be a great one. Hey, Miss Heidi, good to see you. All right, take your time. Don't get in an accident, Miss Heidi. Oh, see, someone popped in from Twitch. Oh, let me see what we got here. Okay, Mr. Kecker, or Miss Kecker, 09. Hey, love your content. I'd love to join your next stream with some friends. Add me on Discord, Maxwell 50. Okay, we'll see what we got going. Thank you for popping into the show tonight. As you know, everybody, that Thanksgiving's coming up this Thursday. And tonight I'd like to talk about some of the traditions that everybody has for Thanksgiving dinner, or Thanksgiving in general. Hey, Michael Anthony, you too, sir. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's nice to see you, sir. And I don't know. All I know of Thanksgiving was we went up into Freeport. There was so much food. Oh my God, was there so much food? Of course, you had the turkey and my aunt made meatloaf and lasagna, and oh my goodness gracious, it was so much food. You know, I really, really enjoyed going up there. But there were times that we didn't make it up to Freeport to my aunt's house, so we would have turkey dinner here. And so, of course, my mom would start cooking at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, throwing the turkey on, and then making the stuffing. But you know what we realized, though, and I don't know how anybody else feels about this, but we made our stuffing with onions and celery, all kinds of stuff. But at the first couple of times that we did it, we actually stuffed the turkey with stuffing. But come to find out, it wasn't healthy, stuffing the turkey, okay? Because the turkey would cook, okay, but the stuffing wouldn't. And I'm just going to ask anybody out there tonight if, what do they do? Do they stuff their turkey? Or do they cook the stuffing on the side? I know that when it comes to potatoes, real stuff, you know, we get the fried temper, and then then we make the mashed potatoes. And my favorite was the green bean, you know, with the cream of mushroom soup and with lemons on top of it. What was that? Green bean casserole. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And yes, I did have pumpkin pie, and we also had chocolate cream pie. It was just knowing that you're going to eat good and you're going to go to sleep afterwards. Okay. And and you're going to have leftovers for like 3 or 4 days, which was pretty cool. Now, when it comes to the type of turkey meat for me, I do not like the turkey breast at all. And I'd like to know everybody out there who's in the chat and who's out there listening to the show. Turkey gravy is the best. Yes, sir. Hey, Sparky, good to see you. And I just like the dark meat. I like the thighs and I like the legs and I like the wings too. But when it comes down to the turkey breast, this is too damn dry. It really is. I can't deal with it. And I'm not a real big fan of cranberries either. Okay. So it's like, what do I do? So I don't eat the white meat. I just eat the dark meat. That's it. I don't know. Everybody out there in the chat tonight would like to share what their favorite part of the turkey it is that you like. Now, see, I like to nibble on the bone. Okay, Sparky says he is all about the turkey breast. Beck Grove says I used to go for white meat. Now I go for the whole bird. That's cool. And that's another question I'd like to ask everybody out there. What size turkey do you buy? What size turkey? We usually get a 16 to 18 pound. Kurt says I'm the opposite. White meat. Well, you know what? If you have dark meat, bail my way because I'll eat it. See, to me, dark meat's the best part of the turkey, and that's only me. Okay. So how many pounds do you get? Do you have like big parties if you have a lot of guests? The rule of thumb is, everybody wants to know, that it depends on how many people you're over having at the house. So if you're having about 50 people, okay, it is recommended that you get about maybe a 15 to 17 pound turkey. Okay. Hey, welcome home, Heidi. Glad you made it safe. So it's 15 to 17 pounds. would be sufficient enough for about 15 people, because you also got to figure out too, you're going to have mashed potatoes, you're going to have corn, you're going to have succotash, which people don't know what that is. That's like, I do believe, lima beans and corn, which is pretty good too. Sparky says we are doing a full bird and then an extra breast. That's a smart move, you know. So with my mom, and it's just me and my brother now, we really don't go anywhere. Well, this year we're going over to my cousin Joy's house, so for that. But we only get like a 10-pound, 8 to 10-pounder. Hey, Lisa Kirk, good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the chat room. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there who are in the 160 different countries that are listening to my show tonight. That girl says I eat it by myself pretty much, so I section it. I have the main meal, then have hot turkey, turkey soup, and next day's after. Oh my goodness gracious. That's great, that girl, because I love turkey soup. I'd rather have turkey soup than I would rather have chicken noodle soup. I'd rather have turkey noodle soup. Okay, for some reason, for me, I think the turkey meat in the turkey noodle soup is a little bit more sweeter than having just plain old chicken, you know. So that's how I am with that and the foods. And I just love it. And when it comes to pies, yes, I like my pumpkin pie. I don't eat pumpkin pie that much because it has that damn pumpkin spice in it. And you all know in the chat and out there in the world, I do not like pumpkin stuff. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. So that's what we eat. That's our traditions. You know, you got to definitely have the corn. And you definitely got to have Brussels sprouts, because I like the little Brussels sprouts, not the big Brussels sprouts. I like the little tiny ones. And you have to melt like 3 pounds of butter over them with a ton of salt. You know, and everybody, you know, Michelle Pratt, that's Mish. Hey, CL, good to see you, hon. You have a great guest on tonight, Mr. Marquette. He's a good dude. Heidi says sometimes we get ham instead. Not much of a fan of turkey. Yeah, you know, we might get a little ham, you know, just like a little quarter ham and slice it down. People who want some ham. That girl, give me the recipe for that, because that girl makes her own cranberry sauce from scratch. Ooh, that sounds great. And of course, but no least, you have football on TV. Yes, you got football on all day long. And I don't know how you guys feel about the guys watching the football and the wives cooking and setting up the tables and all kinds of stuff. I don't know. Unless it's a blowout, I'll watch the football games. But if it's a blowout, forget it. Forget it. I just won't watch it. And whenever the Dallas Cowboys play, you know, I just don't watch the game because I'm not really a big Dallas Cowboy fan. And that's who I am. But Detroit Lions, I am. But we watch football. And at night, I do believe there's a college game on. So a rivalry on that. I remember a long time ago, okay, University of Pittsburgh and Penn State used to play football on Thanksgiving night. The halftime show, haha, good one, Kev. And it's like, I don't know. It's just great, you know. Usually we'd eat about 2, 3 in the afternoon, you know, and we watch a football game and then fall asleep. And then we, CL, please. You know, CL, you're like my best friend ever. And you like Penn State? Yeah. I still like it. If you like Penn State, that's cool. But personally, me, Penn State got to go, man. They cry a lot. They cry blue and white. Hey, Laurel. Hi, Sean. Thanksgiving here every day. Grateful for all I have. I won't have turkey. Making rudolin from my old road recipe and cranberries and picked last week in the bog. The best. Um, okay. All right. You're lucky you're my best friend because if you weren't one of my best friends, Miss C.L. Thomas, okay, then I don't know what I would do. Gonna have to put Pitt up. But yeah, so that's what the deal is, hon. Everybody is that's my Thanksgiving tradition. Is there anybody out there in the chat that would like to share what their traditions are? And I'm sure everybody would like to know. Oh, you eat all day too, Laurel? That's cool. But you know it's the best. Okay. I worked at a bakery. Me and my brother worked at a bakery. It was called Potomac Bakery. It was like a real old bakery. And he worked there, and I was the delivery driver for them. But they had these rolls. They were called butter crusted rolls. Oh my God. You're talking about butter and flour. That's all it was. Sparky says double eggs and cheese ball a must. Michelle said, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you got to give thanks every day, you know. But, it's like I have a lot of fun. I'm just happy that the Thanksgiving's over with, and I will explain it to you. Why? Because starting November 1st all the way up to January 1st, being a meat cutter, okay, you go through your turkeys. And then right after the turkeys, you go to the Christmas hams, you get hams. And then right after Christmas, you go right into cutting pork for New Year's. Those 2 months are the busiest times out there in the meat department, service meat department. You go from turkeys to hams and pork. Because here in Pittsburgh, now I don't know if there's a tradition anywhere else, but I know for Pittsburgh, maybe Pennsylvania, but definitely Pittsburgh, you have to buy pork and eat it on New Year's Day. Because what the pork is supposed to do is give you good luck. Michelle says, don't eat pork or turkey. Okay. But what I do with the pork, okay, I'm not really a big pork fan, to be honest with you, everybody. I'm really. So Sally says that she's thankful that she decided to go vegetarian again. Awesome. Okay, that's good. I'm sure tofu tastes good. And I'm not knocking you on that, Sally, but I've tried tofu and I have a problem with tofu. I guess it's not my cuisine thing. Kevin says, I don't know that it's the meaning of Thanksgiving, but I am always thankful for things and for the food, of course. LOL. No, you're right, Kevin. That is the meaning of Thanksgiving, is being grateful. Uh-oh, everybody. Vet Girl put her cranberry cranberry sauce out there in the chat room. Oh my gosh. You are so, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that, Vet. See, I got good people in my chat room, But so we are getting close to 8:30, right? And then I'm going to take my little break here, play a couple videos of, different people in their shows. And I will be back, and you're going to know who Mary J. Hale is, okay? So on that note, everybody go grab a cup of coffee, get a cigarette, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. And I will be back because the show is just going to get better. Michelle said, okay, I'm listening, but need to be productive. Love you all. Love you too, Michelle. Love you too. So we'll be back in a couple minutes, everybody. Okay.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank you. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, and for allowing me to give you this 2 hours a week, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, 1 hour, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m., so I can share my stories with you. Life is good. Oh, yep, forgot. We have the Gateway Podcast with my dear friend who happened to likes Penn State. Heard the Gateway Podcast, and she's having my friend Mark Getty on tonight. And they're going to talk about the ancient mysteries of the Ohio Valley, lost worlds, mounds, and cryptids, and it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a really, really good show. So at the beginning, in the first part of the show, okay, we did talk about, my traditions and what we had to eat, and when I was coming up with today's topic, okay, for the show, as far as I remember, like 63 years, that's how old I am, but for the longest time, we always had turkey. We always had the mashed potatoes and all that good stuff for Thanksgiving meal. And so I was sitting here thinking, like, what in the hell came up with the recipe or came up with the ideas of having a turkey? And cowboy corn. Well, I like corn with bacon. Yes, I do. But I know that I just wondered who came up with this, because it seems like every year since I was young, we always had turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and all that. And I was wondering, Mom, how in the hell did that come up to be in the Thanksgiving dinner? So I did a little bit of researching, and I got it on my phone here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And that, my friends, before we go on, I got to give you a little tip. I hope you thawed out your turkey. I hope your turkey is thawed out if it was a frozen one. And I hope you started it last Tuesday, okay, or last Wednesday, because it's going to take forever to thaw out a frozen turkey. So tomorrow, if you go to the grocery store and you're looking for a turkey, and I can guarantee it, there's going to be a lot of them that are going to be frozen, okay? And your turkey would not thaw out until probably the following Sunday. But, if you forgot to get your turkey, you're going to end up getting a fresh turkey, okay? And there's nothing really bad about having a fresh turkey, but a lot of people that I have dealt with at work, okay, whenever they see a fresh turkey, they feel it and they think it's frozen, okay, because it does feel frozen. But you have to realize why it's frozen, because once they are packaged, they get, it's called flash freeze, okay? They send them through and put a flash freeze on the turkeys, so it protects it from not getting no bacteria or any kind, diseases that get into the turkey. So if you go buy a fresh turkey, okay, and it feels like it's frozen, it might be it will be frozen on the outside of the turkey, but on the inside of the turkey, it will be fresh. It would not be frozen. The only thing difference between a fresh turkey and a frozen turkey is maybe about $1 more, because where I work at, they're like, 98 cents a pound for a frozen turkey. And for a fresh turkey, you're looking at about $1.68, $1.78, for a fresh. But you know what? Some people have the tendency of forgetting to buy their turkeys, okay? And so hopefully everybody who got a frozen turkey, that it's thawed out. If it's still frozen, I can highly recommend that you get like a tub, all right? You can even use your kitchen sink if it's deep enough, and fill it up, not with hot water. Don't fill it with hot water, lukewarm or even cold water, and just throw your turkey in the sink with the water, and put a towel over it, and hopefully it will thaw out by then. You can also, if you get it tomorrow and it's frozen, maybe throw it out on your counter, on a plate or a bowl. You can put the turkey in. But it's not the end of the world. It's, eventually you'll have it, but maybe not for Thanksgiving. So I can really highly recommend, that next year that you get a fresh turkey. Anyway, fresh turkeys are better. Hey, Marketti, good luck tonight. There's CL's guest, Marketti. Good luck tonight, my friend. But back to the show, back to, where I wanted to talk about here. So if you look at that little thing going across, it says, who is Mary J. Hale, H-A-L-E? Who is Mary J. Hale? Does anybody have a clue out there who Mary J. Hale is? Hey, Sean, I can't believe it's Tuesday night already. I know, Joe. I know, and before you know, it's going to be Sunday night. Yeah. No problem, Mark. Not a problem at all, buddy. Yeah, Joe, it is. It's Tuesday, and before you know, it's going to be Christmas. So when you close, like blink your eyes, it's going to be Christmas. But I'm glad you're here tonight, there, buddy. But this Mary J. Hale, okay. Okay. The modern Thanksgiving meal took many centuries to develop, and many of the dishes trace their origins to Sarah J. Hale. And then she is the editor of the popular woman's magazine, Godey's Ladies Book. Okay. Hale is known for crafting the nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb. But she also became a critical figure in the establishment of Thanksgiving and its modern menu. Okay. She petitioned 13 presidents in the 1800s to recognize Thanksgiving as a national holiday. I'm going to repeat that. She petitioned 13 presidents in the 1800s to recognize Thanksgiving as a national holiday. Her efforts included publishing Thanksgiving recipes and menus that featured items like turkey, sage dressing, and mashed potatoes. And this is all reported from the Smithsonian. Okay. Now, which is pretty cool. Out of all those presidents that, she petitioned to make Thanksgiving a holiday, there was only one, and that was Abraham Lincoln, became the first president to side with her in 1863, recognizing Thanksgiving amid the turning point in the American Civil War. really cool, man. It's like really, really cool stuff. Where a lady who was publishing. Hey, Tim Vogel, good to see you, brother. But that's pretty little history about this one lady petitioning 13 presidents. Mark Eddy's on CL's, Joe. Just to get, I did read that Thomas Jefferson did not want to celebrate Thanksgiving, and the reason behind that, Thomas Jefferson did not want to, is because he thought it was like religion in the state. So he really didn't want to celebrate it because he figured one or the other, it will interfere with everybody's beliefs between the state and the religions. Now, the turkey, records show turkeys in the Plymouth area at the time of the Pilgrims, but William Bradford, the governor of Plymouth Plantation, sent a group of men fowling, Fowling. They just as likely could have returned with ducks or geese. And turkeys trace their origins to central Mexico and the southwestern United States. It's pretty interesting, huh? The bird had been twice domesticated in those regions roughly for 2,000 years ago. Experts believe that the Spanish explorers took turkeys from central Mexico back to Europe. Then English settlers brought the birds back to their colonies. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it amazing how you start with the turkeys in Mexico, and then the Spanish or the Mexicans take it over to the Europeans, and then the Europeans bring it over to the United States. You were told to remain clothed. You're funny, Mark. The Pilgrims used herbs, onions, and oats to stuff fowl or fish, but the modern bread-based stuffing did not come along until the late 18th century. Yeah, some people do turkeys at Christmas. We do ham. I like ham for Christmas. The potatoes. Historians believe potatoes derived from Peru about 10,000 years ago. The History Channel said that Spaniards probably took the food back to Europe again around 1570 and made it a staple crop. English settlers later brought the crop to the eastern United States. Even so, they had no place at the first Thanksgiving. The crop had not become popular enough with the English to have been at the feast. Well, whatever century they started to put the potatoes in there for the Thanksgiving meal, thank God for that. Oh. Okay. So, I'll let Mark read that one. And then there's pumpkin pie. And this is pretty interesting when I was reading it. There was no pumpkin pie at the first Thanksgiving. Historians say the two groups lacked the butter and wheat flour needed to make the pie crust. Oh, don't go there with the sugar cookies, Mr. Kevin. No. I love my sugar cookies. And even if they had it, they wouldn't have crafted an oven needed to bake it. Even so, the History Channel said English settlers often hollowed out pumpkins. Oh, check this shit out. Even so, the History Channel said English settlers often hollowed out pumpkins, filled the shells with milk, honey, and spices to make a custard. That's interesting. Never heard of that one. Let me repeat that for all you foodie people out there, especially in the chat room. The History Channel said English settlers often hollowed out pumpkins, filled the shells with milk, honey, and spices to make a custard. Fat girl says, oh my God, I'm drooling all over my phone. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yes. Okay. Welcome back there, Michelle. Okay. The version we know today, the creamy cinnamon and nutmeg spice version, came to be in the 1800s. The corn. Oh, we're getting there. Corn in many forms was available in abundance to the pilgrims and natives. It had been domesticated in Mexico more than 8,000 years ago. According to the History Channel, corn would have been removed from the cob and turned into cornmeal. The natives and pilgrims buffalo boiled and pounded the thick product into a thick corn mush like porridge. Occasionally, they'd sweeten it with molasses. That sounds good. But when you look at that with the corn, I like to get ears of corn. And what I do is I like to take a knife and take all the kernels off the corn. And I mean, as I'm taking them off, the corn milk that's inside the corn. And then we fry it in bacon grease. Oh my God, is it so good? Bacon grease. Ooh, gosh. And bacon, regular bacon grease, and fried corn in it. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, here you go, that girl, the cranberries. Okay, last one. Cranberries are native to North America and quite possibly could have been served at the first Thanksgiving. But it wouldn't have been in a sauce like the modern condiment. Neither the natives nor pilgrims would have boiled the berry with sugar with the intent to use it as a sauce for meat. This is what the Smithsonian said. So if it wasn't for Miss Mary J. Hale, petitioning presidents to make, Thanksgiving a holiday meal, then I don't know how we would be celebrating Thanksgiving to this day. Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Would it be another spaghetti and meatball day or another meatloaf day? And I guess if you look at it with the people who went all out and put a lot of effort into starting a tradition for us, God bless them for doing that. Seriously, God bless them for that. And I'm just happy, that she did that and how she petitioned it. So if anybody's bored, Google Mary J. Hale, H-A-L-E, Mary J. Hale, and just read her story. And it's a pretty fascinating one. And for her to start making a menu for Thanksgiving, I mean, I do believe that, not put on a pedestal, but she should get some kind of medal. And another trick about Thanksgiving, do not talk politics. Please don't talk politics. Whatever you do, you can't. Don't talk politics. Just enjoy everybody's company, because the next time you might not know. Recognition. Thank you, Nish. Because you don't know when you'll see them again, And then you're also thinking that, okay, you only see your relatives one time a year, maybe twice, and you don't ever see them again. Condos for her. Hi, Cindy. Yes, politics do suck, and it's not a good thing to bring up at Thanksgiving. I mean, neither football games, because that can cause a fight, whatever. Just go, sit down, talk, chat, eat, watch football, and then go home. That would be the best Thanksgiving in the world. But you also have to remember, too, that Thanksgiving also means gratitude. And I saved this part to the end about gratitude. Okay. And if it's okay with anybody out there in the chat room, um, can you share what you're grateful for? If you want to share it, what are you grateful for? Hey, Tony Sabella's, good to see you, sir. Well, I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. I am grateful that I survived my cancer. I am grateful for my family. I'm brutally grateful. Thank you, son. Thank you, Mitch. Cindy, thank you. I am grateful for my son, who I am so proud of. And one of the biggest things that I am grateful for is everybody that comes and follows my show who can't make it, but, actually listens to it. And I'm grateful for all the 160 different countries out there that listen to my show. And I'm brutally thankful for that. I mean, I can do a whole show on what I'm grateful for. And we're grateful for you too, Vet Girl. Kevin, thank you. And I'm grateful for you guys. And I'm same here. Thank you, Joe. I'm grateful that I woke up in the morning. And then I'm grateful for sharing my show. But like what I was going to tell you, that I could do a whole show on gratitude. And that's, instead of looking at the ugly that is going on in the world right now, just be grateful you're alive. Sally says, I am grateful for music and podcasts. I have nothing else to hold on to, but there's always something to listen to. Sally, I'm grateful for you. Don't you ever forget that. Everybody here is grateful for you, Sally. And I can understand nothing else to hold on to. But sometimes for me, because I was in your shoes at one time, Sally, and that's the truth. And all I could do is hold on to anybody or something. And if it was minuscule, it was minuscule. Whatever. But I held on to it. And it got me through. Sometimes it was a prayer. Sometimes it was somebody talking to me over the phone, whatever. That girl says, cat walked on phone screen and pressed send before I was done typing. Grateful for them too. Automatic message, self-heated perm monsters. Yes. So just, for this Thanksgiving coming up, let's just be grateful that we have each other. As family members, as friends, as dear friends. And just be grateful you're alive. Oh, Kevin says, grateful for my fur children as well. Yes. They are big. I got 2 yappy dogs, one to the right and one to the left of me, in different houses. And we give them treats, but, I'm grateful for them because it's funny. I might be having a bad day at work, okay? And when I come home, they're there waiting for me to, lick my hand or something like that. Michelle, Mish, yes. I'm grateful that you are you. And I'm grateful for me. Because Lord knows what would have happened if I didn't find, and I'm not afraid to say, if I didn't find Alcoholics Anonymous. And that's how I learned to be grateful. That's what taught me to be grateful. And it got me here today. talking to you guys, talking to my friends, talking to my family. I couldn't ask for anything better. Every Sunday and Tuesday nights. I mean, what more can a person want? To have a podcast, to talk to their friends, to share their experiences, health, and joy. Kevin says, grateful for pen and paper, pencils too. Okay, yeah, you can write a letter. Heidi says, grateful for lessons and blessings for real. No, believe it or not, I'm a Raven type of guy, not football Ravens, but I like Ravens and Crows. They visit me. And even though they're loud, I'm grateful for them. And I'm grateful for the Cardinals that come. I was thinking about it the other day. So where my mom's car is parked, there's a little bunny rabbit. And he just sits there and he eats, and he's there. And he waits for me. Banter with Rich. Hey, Banter, Sean, brother, good to see your face. I think that's what I'm grateful for, brother. Thank you. And I'm grateful for you too, brother. Kevin says, so much to be grateful for and not focus on the negative. Sally says, I love crows, all birds. Heidi says, my BFFs in the system in many ways. Yes. Joe says, I would absolutely love to befriend a raven or a crow for real. Look it up, Joe. You see one and you start giving it peanuts. I like to give them unsalted peanuts, unsalted, not salt, and some water. But I'm grateful for that. But let me back to the bunny rabbit story. So for the last month, okay, where my mom's car is parked, there's her right front tire, okay. And this bunny is there in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, just sitting there looking at me, munching on some grass, okay, when I leave for work. And when I come home from work at 2:30 in the afternoon, the bunny rabbit's right there again, sitting right next to my mom's tire, munching, and I can get out of the car. And and he won't run away. He will not run away. And I'm kind of glad that I do see that rabbit, because I don't know, it puts a smile on my face. And it taught me a lesson. It taught me that animals do care. And they know when you're hurting. And this bunny rabbit knows, and he's there. What time do I leave for work in the AM? Usually about 5:15 in the morning. That girl is grateful for the universe little gifts scattered randomly in my pack. So look at what we have around us and be grateful for it, because Spirit has given it to us. And whoever you believe in has given us all this beautiful stuff. The thing is that we really need to open our eyes and look for it. Oh, it's that time again. We're at the top of the witching hour. And I hope everybody has a very nice Thanksgiving. And if you have a little time to yourself, just think of all the things that you are grateful for. And if you can, write them down. You'll be surprised how long the list gets. Even you don't think you're grateful, just look at the list that you make and you'll be surprised. And on that note, good night, everybody. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Okay? And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find somebody and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, good night, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I shall see you